The degree to which they were shocked and appalled and offended that Vance came there daring to lecture Germany, one of the most free countries on earth when it comes to expression.
Is it a crime to insult somebody in public?
Yes.
Yes. A crime to insult them online as well?
Yes.
The fine could be even higher.
Armed police raiding homes over memes, politicians calling to ban X, a man arrested for posting a flag online. What is happening in Europe? Well guys, it turns out that JD Vance was mistaken when he advocated for free speech for European citizens at the Munich conference. Poor guy didn't realize this, but turns out that free speech actually caused the Holocaust.
He was standing in a country where free speech was weaponized to conduct a genocide.
European governments have actually been lovingly trying to protect its citizens from the Holocaust 2.0. The Auschwitz Memorial Center even confirmed this online by saying that yes, free speech did in fact play a factor in the Holocaust. Now, you may find yourself thinking back to what you learned about Nazi Germany and how they actually were very anti-free speech and they implemented state-controlled media and they oppressed and punished anybody who expressed any alternative viewpoints from their own. You may even find yourself thinking about how that state-controlled media and oppression of any alternative viewpoints is kind of similar to what's going on nowadays. But just stop yourself right there, push that thought away, and let's have a look at what European governments have been doing to protect us from free speech.
6:01 on a Tuesday morning, and we were with state police as they raided this apartment in northwest Germany. Inside, 6 armed officers searched a suspect's home, then seized his laptop and cell phone. Prosecutors say those electronics may have been used to commit a crime. The crime, posting a racist cartoon online. At the exact same time across Germany, more than 50 similar raids played out. Part of what prosecutors say is a coordinated effort to curb online hate speech in Germany.
And please let me know in the comments what you think about the clips that you see in this video. Let the world know what you think. Marie-Therese Kaiser was fined €6,000 for speaking online about the fact that African and Afghan migrants are statistically significantly more likely to gang rape women and girls. Swiss lawmaker Merit Schneider calls for a ban to X. She calls it a threat to democracy and she says that it promotes conservatives. Wow, how frightening. Conservatives. Ooh, scary. I have to say my mind has to do some loops there to ignore the fact that calling for a ban to a social media site just because you disagree with its political leaning is not a threat to democracy in itself. The UK government has warned that reading books like Lord of the Rings and 1984, yes, 1984, might lead to extremist right-wing thinking. I wonder why they might be afraid of people reading 1984. Anybody have any ideas? This British schoolboy explained how they are learning more about Mohammed and Islam than they are about Christianity in school.
They taught you about the Bill of Rights?
No.
Did you learn about the Battle of Agincourt?
No. In school they were teaching us about, you know, about Islam, about Prophet Muhammad and all their ideologies. They barely covered Christianity at all.
Did they tell you about how he was a warlord who brutally murdered people?
No, they wouldn't say any of that. And when I tried to stand up and say that some of them things, I would get in trouble for it. Suspended from school because apparently I was being racist. I wasn't. I was just trying to, you know.
You're questioning an ideology?
Yes, I was questioning the ideology, and in my opinion, it's not the right ideology. They're trying to take away my free speech in school. They're trying to silence me in school, to suspend me from school for, you know, trying to stand up and discuss stuff about Islam, the wrongs of it. So they only say, oh, Islam's a peaceful religion, but if you look into their book, you'll find out it's not.
UK arrests have been taking place over offensive posts.
The reasons why we did this is on the 17th of the 10th of 2023 on Bethnal Green Road at 10:04. You were witnesses saying, obviously, people Why are they over here, etc.? We let them into our country, etc.
So, big deal.
Yeah, okay.
So, big deal.
Fridays on the television.
Saying it. Take him. Disgusting. You're disgusting. Absolute. I'm a stage 4 cancer patient and I need a beer. Make a scene of shoes. Make the scene you're arresting him because he said something in his face about Hamas, a terrorist organisation.
You haven't been round the block. You don't know what you're talking about. John, have a custody. Did you hear that?
What?
All those Palestinian flags in Bethnal Green Road, and you discuss it, absolutely discuss that. Why didn't you stand down, John? Why didn't you stand down? John,
all because it's a comment about Palestine. It's absolutely disgusting what's going on in this country. It's on GB News. Exactly. It's on GB News. Take them away from nothing.
Yeah, I know. This is your freedom.
Look at the cops. Look at all the cops.
Embarrassing.
Look at this. Getting arrested because he mentioned Hamas on Facebook.
What's his medical conditions? What's he got?
He's got kidney disease.
Kidney disease.
We've seen police and psychologists coming into people's homes.
Hello, my name's Sean. I'm a senior nurse. I work at the NHS.
Yep. Name and number, please, mate.
Yeah, PC Green, Echo Bravo 428.
John Joe, PC Turner, Hastings Police Station,
Thank you.
959.
You literally just missed the missus and that. They've gone out like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So what's the issue?
So it was just to, obviously what we've been told, that you might have a few concerns, a few things that are bothering you at the moment.
Yeah.
Whether there's
That's
anything
bothering everyone else in the country right now. So what are the concerns you're here for? Because this is religious discrimination right now, because you wouldn't be knocking on Muslims' doors if they had this conversation, because I already know why you're here.
They're just, people have raised concerns.
What concerns?
About your views.
What views?
That you've got concerns about what's going on in Australia.
Yeah, so I'm an Orthodox Christian. Now you've turned up at my house because I went and see my priest. Because I've questioned about the church not acting on the behalf of Christians, you're now turning up here with mental health nurses, assuming that I'm some right-wing nutter.
And here you'll see a discussion about the UK law that actually allows for police to do this.
I am alarmed, harassed, and I feel distressed because two coppers are here.
Over the Facebook, it's not very nice to be investigated.
No, so you should
over what? Where's
do
the
your job. Investigate.
What's the crime? So what we're going to do is you're invited in for voluntarily. He's not coming. If you're refusing to do that, we feel it's necessary to ask you those questions. No, he's not coming. We will have no other choice to arrest you in order to ask you. Yes, well, arrest him. What crime?
What crime? What is my crime? What is my crime?
What crime?
Tell me my crime.
127 of the Communications Act 2003. Which says what?
Where you post something that causes gross offence or of a menacing character, which causes a person anxiety.
Is that what it says?
Yes, it does.
How is a flag? How is a flag grossly offensive? I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it to my 30,000 followers right now. We can move on.
Mr. Brady, you're under arrest.
No, he's not.
I'm not.
No, he's not.
I'm not under arrest.
No, he's not under arrest. He's not under arrest. You're not arresting him. You were not arresting him at all.
So why are they doing this? To protect us from ourselves? To protect us from free speech? To protect us from the Holocaust 2.0? By acting like the Nazis did? State-controlled media? Punishing, oppressing alternative views? When this CBS host claimed that free speech caused the Holocaust, here's what Marco Rubio had to say.
Free speech was not used to conduct a genocide. The genocide was conducted by an authoritarian Nazi regime that happened to also be genocidal because they hated Jews and they hated minorities and they hated those that they had a list of people they hated, but primarily the Jews. There was no free speech in Nazi Germany. There was none. There was also no opposition in Nazi Germany. They were a sole and only party that governed that country. So that's not an accurate reflection of history. I also think it's wrong. Again, I go back to the point of his speech. Okay, the point of his speech was basically that there is an erosion in free speech and intolerance for opposing points of view within Europe, and that's of concern because that is eroding. That's not an erosion of your military capabilities. That's not an erosion of your economic standing. That's an erosion of the actual values that bind us together in this transatlantic union that everybody talks about. And I think allies and friends and partners that have worked together now for 80 years should be able to speak frankly to one another in open forums without being offended, insulted, or upset.
Funnily enough, though, it's the government and the world leaders that seem to be more upset about this than the citizens. Macron also expressed fury over Elon Musk's posts about his opinion on the German elections. He calls it interference.
Who would have thought? There you go, saying, if we had been told that the owner of one of the largest social networks in the world would support a new international reactionary movement and directly intervene in elections, including in Germany, who would have imagined it?
But that doesn't really make sense because Macron doesn't have any problem with the very influential media expressing left-wing opinions. He doesn't have a problem with all of the Hollywood celebrities. So he doesn't have any problem with any of the influential people across the world expressing left-leaning views. But he has a problem with the one influential right-leaning person expressing their views. That somehow is labelled election interference, whereas everyone else expressing their opinions isn't. People in charge right now clearly fear open discussion. There's no room for what's now been labelled as extremist right-wing views, what a few years ago would have probably been considered like centre. And if you question them, you're censored, fined, or arrested. But JD Vance is the bad guy. JD Vance is the threat. Conservatism is the threat. X is a threat to our democracy. Elon Musk is. Trump is. Yes, they're all threats to our democracy. But people are waking up. They really are. This is happening across the globe right now. Europeans are speaking out. The video that I did the other day about JD Vance got over 1,600 comments from Europeans and Americans, all thanking JD Vance for giving them a voice, all praising him. And my channel is small, so I know that there are tons more people out there who are thinking the same way. They just don't have a voice. They don't have a microphone. The government hasn't allowed it. The media hasn't allowed it. But what it does show is that we're here. And more people are waking up every day. So you cannot act like we don't exist anymore. If you think that free speech is a right and not a privilege, then please share this video. Like I said earlier, please do share your comments on what you think about the clips that you saw in this video. Let the world know what you think about what the European government is doing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.